The awkward moments continue in November on Lucha Review as that alarm behind me just has not stopped sounding. Now, if you're a fan of this program, you're probably a fan of horror films. You're probably also a fan of cartoons. Have you ever imagined what might happen if you put them together? Well, we're going to find out in tonight's main event on Lucha Review when we watch Evil Toons, starring David Carradine. Tag yourself in, and let's take on the nerdy and dirty. Evil Toons assumes you've taken a minute to read the cover box and that you've come to the conclusion that the film is more of a comedy than a horror. The gags kick in right away as this bootleg Necronomicon mentors David Carradine with the use of a Jiminy Cricket quote.
Let your conscience be your guide.
Carradine was apparently one step ahead of all of us because anyone still watching now has to sit through one of the longest rollouts of opening credits I've ever seen. Fast forward to present day, and Mr. Futterman shows up with a team of young women to clean out this house and prepare it for a sale. He can drive a tractor-trailer much better than this van, by the way. As for the cleaning ladies, it's the Teenage Mutant B-movie actresses, starring the Party Girl, the Ditz, the Snide Bitch, and the Nerd. The cleaning ladies throw 4 boxes around before getting distracted by a shiny object. The Snide Bitch gives the 60-second plot, they call it a day, and as they kick back after a job well done, I'm expecting to see men in garbage bags trying to break into the house because their downtime looks like a scene from Night Trap. Instead, we get David Carradine back from the dead with no explanation.
Are you Christopher Lloyd?
Marty, don't go to the year 2020! Great Scott! The girls do as they're told. They open the book, find that 75% of its pages are blank, and call it a night. The Party Girl is still waiting for her boyfriend to show up, however, and while she's struggling to open a twist-off bottle of cheap-ass wine, the clock strikes midnight, and one of the demons is freed from whatever was keeping him inside the book. His mastery of stealth is Skyrim level 100, because Party Girl fails to notice how much he's enjoying the free show she's giving off. The demon trapped in hell for centuries does what a demon trapped in hell for centuries will do, and then possesses the Party Girl right before her boyfriend Biff arrives. Yes, the guy's name really is Biff, and I truly was disappointed that it wasn't the guy from Back to the Future. The possessed Party Girl makes like a tree and goes for his throat. What kind of a name is Biff anyway? Is it short for anything? Anybody know?
All right, Macho Man, the game's over.
Yeah, that's not the Macho Man on the floor. Oh, no. That's some piece of garbage named Biff! And you're not Miss Elizabeth, and you're not Sensational Queen Sherry.
Shit gets real when the girls see that Biff is neither the Macho Man nor living and breathing. Startled, they call Mr. Futterman, who's preoccupied with movies he starred in when he was younger.
How come this guy never won an Academy Award?
You kids better not be messing with gremlins in there. Will Mr. Futterman help the girls survive this live-action Scooby-Doo horror? Rent the movie and see for yourself, because I'm going to book this as a main event attraction. Evil Toons is Evil Dead with porn stars and animated monsters. It's good, stupid fun, and it's very easy to have fun with it or at its expense. Now, with that said, let's play some Night Trap. Have you ever known a lazy, out-of-shape cop who relies on petty bullshit to justify a salary? You know the kind. He's never there in time if you're in actual danger, but if he catches you driving around with busted taillight, he'll be up your ass faster than a thong on the first day of summer. Every quiet little suburb has one, and in 1993, the U.S. Senate exercised a similar work ethic. Back then, America had no wars to fight. No cities were torn up by hurricanes or terrorism, and no pandemics threatened our lives or livelihoods. But we did have a collection of senators and congressfolk who needed to remain relevant, so to accomplish this farce, video games were made public enemy number one. Naturally, Mortal Kombat topped this list of offenders, but right below it was Night Trap, a game with no broken bones, or maims, or decapitations, or men who could fly, or shoot lightning out their ass, or even morph into other men. So what kind of game was Night Trap, and what was so vile about it? Night Trap was a pioneer. Technology in video games was moving fast, and Night Trap was among the first console games to rely on CD-ROM technology. The era of 16-bit was ending, and with Night Trap, players were dazzled by video footage of live actors telling the story, one of them being TV star Dana Plato. In Night Trap, your mission is to protect a collection of young women in a slumber party, and Dana Plato is the insider helping you along the way. You have access to surveillance cameras planted throughout the house, and as the night progresses, limping, hunchback vampires and garbage bags are trying to break in and steal the girls away to whatever horrors lurk within the basement. Your only means of stopping them are the traps set in each area of the house. But they're useless unless you activate them yourself, so you'll be constantly switching between cameras trying to nail these fuckers before they can get to the girls. Meanwhile, the access codes for these traps are frequently changing, and your only way to keep up is to rely on a child actress who ultimately died from bad decisions. But that's only if you don't die from suffocation first, because this game can give you the giggles to the point in which you're gasping for air. Night Trap wasn't just a game, it was a B-movie that you could play, and all of the elements that make a memorable B-movie were there. The weak acting, the horrible costumes, the horrible clothes. This guy looks like he's wearing shoulder pads under that blazer. Shit. And of course, the obligatory music video meant to distract you from your objective, and I have to admit, it works, because I have never been able to beat this game. Look at this. You see that counter in the corner there? That's supposed to tell you how many vampires are wandering the house. What fucking house is it? What is this, fucking Webster's house? Where are these guys hiding? Jesus. This was all too intense for Washington, D.C., and if you ever wondered where the ESRB ratings on your games came from, you have this game to thank. For me, though, it's near perfect. Before we were playing survival horror, we were playing this main event game. It had a short shelf life, but it ushered video games into a new era of better technology, and over 20 years later, its B-movie humor is no less enjoyable. That'll do it for this week. As always, thanks for tagging in, and I will see you next time.